If you've ever thought, wow, my life is complicated, let me introduce you to Sydney Bristow, who would hear that and politely respond, that's cute, before disarming a bomb in 6 languages while emotionally processing 3 layers of betrayal. Welcome to Movie Magic, where today we're diving into the queen of spy drama, emotional damage, and wigs that deserve their own Emmy, Sydney Bristow. This isn't just a character study, it's a psychological autopsy of a woman who somehow balances being a super spy, a daughter in the world's most dysfunctional family tree, and a walking trauma magnet, all the while looking like she just stepped out of a shampoo commercial. So, buckle up, because this ride includes espionage, heartbreak, identity crisis, and enough plot twists to make your brain file for workers' compensation. Sydney's story kicks off with what might be the worst onboarding experience in corporate history. She thinks she's working for the CIA. Cool, patriotic, very I serve my country vibes. But surprise, she's actually working for SD6, a criminal organization masquerading as a government agency. That's not a job, it's a long con with dental benefits. What makes this even more deliciously tragic is how earnest Sydney is at the beginning. She believes in what she's doing. She's not cynical, she's not jaded, she's just a young woman trying to make a difference. And then reality hits her like a truck driven by betrayal, and suddenly she's forced into becoming a double agent. It's not just a career pivot, it's a full identity collapse. Now, she's lying to everyone, her employers, her friends, her fiancé, and eventually herself. That duality becomes the core of her character. She's constantly switching roles: spy, friend, daughter, assassin, and the scary part? She gets really good at it. Like, I can convincingly pretend to be 3 different people before breakfast good. Let's be honest, Sydney Bristow doesn't just experience the trauma, she collects it like it's a limited edition series. First, her fiancé Danny gets murdered because she trusted him with the truth. That alone could break most people. Sydney? She adds it to the emotional backpack and keeps moving. And then there's her best friend, her missing years, her mother being a literal KGB spy who faked her death. I mean, at this point, therapy isn't just optional, it's a survival tool. And yet, Sydney keeps going. She doesn't just endure the trauma, she weaponizes it. Every loss sharpens her. Every betrayal makes her more calculated. And here's the kicker. She never becomes cold. That's what makes her fascinating. She feels everything. The grief, the guilt, the anger, it's all there, bubbling under the surface. She's not a machine. She's a human being who's constantly on the edge of breaking, and somehow she never quite does. If your family group chat is chaotic, Sydney's family is basically a geopolitical crisis. Her father, Jack, is a CIA operative who makes emotionally distant look like an understatement. Her mother, Irina, is a master manipulator with shifting allegiances and a resume that screams, "Trust me at your own risk." The relationship with Jack is especially complex. On one hand, he's protective to the point of moral ambiguity. I mean, this is a man who literally altered his daughter's memories for her own good. On the other hand, he genuinely loves her, even if his version of love involves espionage training and emotional suppression. And then there's Irina, who might just be one of the most complicated maternal figures in TV history. She's not just absent, she's actively dangerous. Sydney is constantly torn between wanting a relationship with her mother and recognizing that trusting her could literally get her killed. It's like trying to hug a ticking time bomb. In the early days, Sydney avoids killing whenever possible. She uses tranquilizers, clever tactics. She's more strategic problem solver than licensed to kill. But as the series progresses, that changes, and not subtly. We're talking about a full transformation into someone who can and will eliminate threats without hesitation. This shift isn't just about making the show more action-packed. It reflects her internal journey. The more she's exposed to darker sides of espionage and her own family, the more she adapts. It's survival. It's also a little terrifying because you start to wonder how much of the original Sydney is still in there. And yet, even as she becomes more lethal, she never loses her moral compass entirely. It's dented, it's scratched, maybe even held together with duct tape, but it's still there. That tension between who she was and who she's becoming is what keeps her character so compelling. And of course, in this world of deception, there's a little romance. Yes, Michael Vaughn, the man, the myth, the emotional complication. Their relationship is basically the definition of it's complicated. They're partners, they're confidants, they're lovers, and occasionally separated by lies, betrayals, and the occasional fake death. So, what makes their dynamic work is the trust. Ironically, in a world built on deception, Vaughn is one of the few people Sydney can be honest with, and that makes their connection feel real. But of course, this is Alias, so that trust is constantly tested. Marriages happen, secrets are revealed, identities get flexible. Despite all that, their relationship remains a core anchor for Sydney. It's one of the few things that reminds her that she's still human. And when it works, it's beautiful. When it doesn't, emotionally devastating, served fresh. Sydney isn't just a spy. She's a one-woman international operation. The disguise is impeccable. The accents, flawless. The languages? Let's just say if there's a language on Earth, Sydney probably speaks it. And if she doesn't, give her 20 minutes and a mission briefing. This isn't just a cool gimmick. It's central to her identity. She becomes whoever she needs to be, whenever she needs to be it. That's powerful, but also it's deeply unsettling, because after a while you start to ask, who is Sydney Bristow when she's not pretending? And that's the tragedy. Her skill set is incredible, but it comes at the cost of a stable sense of self. She's so used to being someone else that being herself becomes the hardest role to play. Right, quick mission briefing. If you're enjoying this deep dive into one of TV's most emotionally complex characters, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Movie-matic squad where we break down your favorite shows, characters, and cinematic chaos with just the right mix of insight and sarcasm. But let's be honest, if you've made it this far, you're already one of us. Might as well make it official. One of the wildest arcs in Sydney's life is the whole missing 2 years situation. Imagine waking up and realizing you've been gone for 2 years and nobody has a good explanation. That's not just confusing, that's existential horror. What makes it worse is discovering what she did during that time. Working as a brainwashed assassin, choosing to erase her own memories, that's next level psychological complexity. It forces Sydney and the audience to question everything about her identity and accountability. Are you responsible for actions you don't remember? Are you still you if parts of your life are missing? These are heavy questions, and the show doesn't shy away from them. Instead, it leans in, making Sydney's journey as much about self-discovery as it is about espionage. At the end of the day, what makes Sydney Bristow so compelling isn't just her skills or her story. It's her resilience. She goes through more than most characters would survive. And yet, she still keeps moving forward. That doesn't mean she's unbreakable. She cracks, she doubts, she struggles, but she never stays down. There's a quiet strength in that, a determination that feels real and earned. She's not a superhero, she's a survivor. And maybe that's why she resonates so much. Because beneath all the spy drama and action sequences, she's someone trying to hold on to her humanity in a world that constantly tries to take it away. So, what makes Sydney Bristow's life so complicated? Everything. Her job, her family, her past, her identity. It's all a tangled web of secrets and sacrifices. And that's the very complexity that makes her one of the most fascinating characters in television history. She's not just a spy, she's a daughter, a lover, a survivor, and a reminder that even in the most chaotic, high-stakes world, the hardest battles are often the ones happening inside. Thanks for watching Movie-matic. Stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, like and share this video if you loved it, and do subscribe to this channel. Till next time, you take good care. Have a great one.